Mishnah Zion. So now the Kohen Gadol was, of course, had remained in the Beis HaMikdash throughout this time, and the Soil Azazel had been sent out. That was, we discussed in Mishnah Gimel. The last thing the Kohen Gadol did was he was Mosra Lemisha Melichu. He would pass the animal, he handed the Soil Azazel to the one who was going to lead it out to the mountain. So now we revert back to the Kohen Gadol. Says the Mishnah, Boloi etzel par v'soy hanisrofin. The Kohen Gadol comes back to the par and the soy hanisrofin, i.e., to the par which we've described how he did his vidu, he shechted it, etc. He did the zrikas adam, and the soy lashem, which also he shechted and did the zrikas adam. And now these animals are ready to be burnt. So he comes to the boloi etzel par v'soy hanisrofin, which were going to be burnt. Kra'on, he cuts them open, v'hoitzias emurehen, and he removes the sacrificial parts, the body parts that are going to be offered up. Nesonon b'mogis v'hiktirun al gabe mizbeach. He puts them on a plate and he burns them al gabe mizbeach, on the outer mizbeach. Now, the Gemara explains, doesn't mean he actually burns it now, because right now he's wearing the big day lovon, and the big day lovon is only for the avodah which he does lifnai v'lifnim in the kodesh of the kodesh kadoshim. He hasn't yet changed into the big day zahav, with which he can burn the emurim, because he only changes only after this is only happens later after he reads from the Torah. He only changes into the big day zahav once he reads from the Torah, which we're going to describe in the next parak. So therefore, the Gemara explains when it says it doesn't mean he actually burns them, but rather he places these emurim, these parts of the animal, on a plate in order for them to be burned soon, but not that he actually burns them right now. Okay, klon b'miklois, he intertwines them. He takes the animal parts and they sort of mix them together, and he intertwines the limbs of the par and of the so'ir, and he into sort of twists, and then they're put on two poles and they're taken away, the animal parts ready to be burnt. And he removes them to the base hasrefa, to the place of burning. Now, the Gemara explains that this base hasrefa is a special place which is chutz l'shalosh machanos, which is 3 machanos outside, a specially designated place, and that's where they're going to be burnt. Okay. And from what point is the begodim of those who actually transport the body parts out of the Beis HaMikdash ready to be burned? From what point in time are their clothes tomei? Answers the Mishnah: as soon as they leave the first machane, i.e. the choma of the azara, the wall of the azara, that's when their clothes become tomei. Reb Shimon Omer mishiyatzitz ha'ur b'rubon, when the majority of the limbs are burned in fire, are burning, that's when the clothes of these people become tomei. So the Gemara brings a brisa which explains what exactly the machlokas is about. And the pasuk says as follows. It says, Yotzi al mechutz lemachane v'sarfu. They take the parts of the par and of the soil Hashem out to the Beis HaSreif and they burn it. Now the brisa says that with regular nisrafim, with regular parts of the animal which are burnt, we know that we take them chutz l'shalosh machanas. But here it says Yotzi al mechutz lemachane. With these two karbonos, it just says chutz lemachane, with one machane. So which one is it? Is it 3 machanos? Is it 1 machane? What's going on? So the Gemara explains that the truth is you take them to the same place, which is beyond the 3 machanos, which is outside of Har HaBayis. Why does it say machana achas? To teach me that hamisaskim bohem metameh begodim. That from that point, as soon as they leave the first machane, which is the chomas ha'ir, the walls of the city, then with the chomas of the azara, the chom of the azara, from the walls of the azara, immediately from that point the clothes become tomei. That's what the Tanna Kama hold. Reb Shimon, however, says mishiyatzitz ha'ur b'ruban, when the majority of the fire sort of takes hold of the animal parts, that's when they become tomei. Then he explains the pasuk slightly differently, because the pasuk says v'hasoref osom yechabes begodov, which implies only when they're sort of majority have been burned. When the majority of these parts have been burned, that's when you fulfill the pasuk v'hasoref osom yechabes begodov, but not before that point. That is the end of Mishnah Zayin.